was having a mental situation, and that was, from what I understand from the case, easily proven, but they gave her the opportunity to prove it. It don't sound like any of that was going on with Hannah, and you know why? Because the defense has not said so. There's nothing that the defense has that can say she was losing her mind. She flipped. She was having an episode of some sort. No, nothing like that. So on our behalf, we can't even understand how Hannah thought that she, let me get something to drink. How Hannah thought that she could just pull up and chase this dude and everything. Even with that guy testifying, saying that he told them to get a picture or whatever of the license plate. That's still, you're an adult. I'm an adult. He keeps saying she a child, and I know to a lot of us who are much older, 21 is, that's baby. Okay, but that's to us. Let me turn it off because I know it's about to be loud. That's baby to us. But 21 is still an adult. She was old enough to have a carry and conceal license. She was old enough to have a driver's license. Y'all not going to sit up here and play in court like 21 years old is too young to be held fully responsible for killing someone when they took what was his name? Stanley something. A 14-year-old boy, and put him in an electric chair. And when he wasn't tall enough for the electric chair, they put, they set him on what? A stack of Bibles or phone books or something like that, so that he could be tall enough to reach in the electric chair. All right? You understand? Because you're supposed to be, I know that, I don't know if it's by state, but you're supposed to be 18 or 21, something like that, before you can be given a death penalty. I was just watching another case where the guy did not get the death penalty because he wasn't old enough to get the death penalty. 21, and he keeps referring to her like she's just a child. You can't listen. We can try and think and move and talk with our emotions if we want to, but to me it is the dumbest thing. I'm not saying I don't ever
turn right.
I'm not even moving. I'm not saying it's the brightest thing to do, but I recognize if I'm doing it, this is not a good thing to do. It's never a good thing to do. Your emotions are going to rule over you. We know this, right? So if you are 21 years old and they feel like you are responsible enough to get a gun, then you're responsible enough to deal with any consequences that may come from your particular usage of that gun. Just because you want to say she's so young, you know, because you're speaking from emotions and not intellect, that's not gonna be just justifiable. It's not gonna be enough. Just because her lawyer is doing it, well, we see Joe Pesci is really not that great of a lawyer. This is probably his first case. I haven't looked him up, but I don't even care to. If I felt like he was some comp, and I don't even think the prosecutor is that good. I was disappointed with that opening statement. Super disappointed, right? But, you know, I'm rooting for her, though. I'm rooting for her because we need this woman to go to jail. Life. She had an option for a plea deal, and it was life without, and she turned it down, and they countered. They didn't tell us what it was, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with getting parole and less than life, and maybe no murder charge. Come on. Her mama, before this trial started, said on TV, okay, because, I mean, YouTube is TV. TV is YouTube. It's all the same. It's the news crew that interviewed her. And she literally said, when the man says, is there anything you want to say to the family of the deceased? You know, the man that your daughter killed. He didn't say all that, but this is the question he asked her. Is there anything you want to say to the family? The woman really didn't want to, you could tell. But she said, hey, basically, she didn't even say I'm sorry, so I'm not even going to act like she said those words. She said something along the lines of, it's unfortunate what happened. But she said, but, and she said it like a stank old weasel that got her daughter back. I don't care what Hannah do. I mean, that was a nice Jeep she was driving. She only 21. And they say she was working at Tractor Supply. And her family was right there to get her out. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with any of that. I'm just saying, I'm thinking Hannah might be coddled by her parents and a little bit privileged. Okay, her father was crying like a baby. But let's be clear, in case you don't feel anything I'm saying, go back and watch it for yourself. Her parents weren't crying because, wow, my daughter is in trouble because she just killed a man. Like, my daughter took someone's life. Like, this is not what I had in mind for her and her future. And this is not good. And, I can't believe that a child of mine took someone's life, and a child of mine is in prison because they took someone's life. And a child of mine has to live with the fact that they took someone's life. No, he was crying because his daughter was in jail. Listen to what they said in the interview. They were not happy that she was in jail, and they was there to get her out, and they brought a whole mob with them. Let's go back. She was not initially arrested. The outpour and protest got her arrested.
Turn right.
If I stop it, I'm gonna have to shut off the video to get to it. So I'm just gonna let waves rock. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting here. Y'all see me sitting here. But anywho, so when she finally got arrested, and y'all can look this up too, because I find it interesting that they're not recapping any of this when they're covering the trial. I find it interesting. They're recapping other stuff. And I'm listening to the way that the journalists are wording everything. They're still putting it like she was trying to perform a citizen's arrest and it went wrong. Well, we heard the testimony from the guy. He asked someone to get a picture of the license plate at best. And who is he? But someone who's driving down the street. Okay. No matter what my profession is, no matter what I do for a living, if I was there on the scene, which I wasn't, let's be clear. I mean, I passed by it right after it happened, but I didn't know somebody got shot. I just was like, how did that accident happen? That's how I was looking at it. And then later to find out that that's what happened, I was enraged, but I was also thankful that I happened to pass by after it happened, because I'm going to tell y'all the straight up. It's a good possibility that I would have got involved. Some people will, some people won't. But if you see a woman cut off a man, and it's not about woman or man, I'm just calling it because it was. But if you see a person cutting off another person and then they run out to the car and they yelling and screaming, but in this case, it's a young white woman and it's the elder black man in his truck, and he seems to be confused as to what's going on, and she is assaulting him, and then she gonna pull her gun. Well, baby, I got one on me too. And we in Georgia. Okay. And I think you need to leave him alone. He don't have a gun. He not standing. But I am. And I got one. And it's drawn just like yours. So we can Wild West. Or whatever. Because I mean, listen, some people. Now let's just keep it real and be clear. Some people who have guns practice. And they practice in different ways. So they get that up out them. Because it's irresponsible to have a gun and never shoot it, because you have no idea what you're in store for. So even if you say this is for my protection, when you get in a situation where you need to use it, how confident are you? How confident can you possibly be when you've never shot it? Even if you shot a gun when you was 5, your grandpa let him shoot his whatever, it's not the gun that you have. How do you even know the thing shoots right? How do you even know that you loaded it correctly? How do you even know that it's not congested? Like, you don't even know if the gun is going to even work when you pull the trigger. I wouldn't be walking around with that type of fake confidence. That's crazy. You need to shoot it so you can be ready to shoot when it's time to shoot. You don't just shoot guns every day. Okay? But you drive to work every day, right? You drive to work and sometimes you're like, dang, if you sit back and try to remember the trip. No, because you was somewhere else and your subconscious really drove you. You don't shoot guns every day. So your subconscious and your conscious is going to be like, what we trying to do here? You know, so you got to shoot the gun. You got to practice. You got to hit targets. But this is another reason why you got to do it. So you can go and get that about you. Okay, because there a lot of reasons why children shoot guns when they get their hands on it is because it's the forbidden fruit. It is that dangerous thing. It is that to them, they don't even understand fully, most children, the seriousness of this gun going off. But the first thing they usually do is pull the trigger. The first thing they usually do when they get their hands on something of yours that they're not supposed to is do what you don't want them to do with it. Because it's forbidden. It's that dangerous thing. You know, the gun is probably looked at as the most dangerous thing that we have as men, right? It's kind of hard to have one and not ever want to shoot it. Not ever want to hit a target. Because you have a gun. I'm not saying want to hit flesh, but I'm going to keep it real with you. Some people, when you have a gun, you don't just want to hit a target. You want to hit some flesh. Because you just got to see what this baby going to do with some flesh. And if you know that's how you feel, ain't nothing wrong with it. Get that off of. Get it up out you. There's ways you can go and hit flesh. There's all kind of target practice you can have. You know, a lot of people actually hunt. They hunt. They go and they track down flesh and they shoot it. Been doing that for a long time. Okay? A long time. Some people want to hit flesh. All right? Okay. Now, when someone gets a gun and they don't use it, I'm gonna be honest with you, that is to me dangerous. It's dangerous because if they don't intentionally use it in a safe manner, they're gonna be itching for the opportunity to use it, and it's more dangerous in that situation also because they're not even familiar or comfortable or like super knowledgeable with the gun, so they really don't necessarily know what they're doing. But mind you, Hannah shot the man close range in his belly. All right, downward trajectory. I don't know what her defense attorney is saying. Actually, he told some lies in the opening statement. He literally said she didn't hit his car. Go back and watch it. But he spoke on the trajectory. She was standing. He was in his car, downward from her standing, okay? And she was through his window coming at him, right? Okay? And whatever happened there, she shot him. You see my finger? Where else is going to go up? Okay, that man never got out his car. And if you saw the case from today, you saw court, it was close around the 40-minute mark, I want to say, but it was more closer to the end. It was when the police came on and he testified. Eventually, they saw his dash cam, his personal cam. When he came and he pulled up and he saw the man laying there, and he was never, when I say never a flaw, he was in that voice. Can you hear Biggie when he said never a flaw? That's just what I was thinking when I was looking at it. I was like, he is never in a rush. Okay? Because when he walked up, it was like she just handed him the gun. He took it. And then he was like, he went almost to the wrong side. Then he went up, like he took his time. Then he didn't even put his gloves on, which in my opinion was just ridiculous. And he's a sergeant. I don't know why he wasn't questioned on some things, but not to really come down on the cop, but I'm just pointing this out. A man has been shot. Okay. We understand. He a black man. He a black man. I know y'all say, oh, race. Yes. We gonna have that conversation, right? We gonna have that conversation in depth. Not here, not now. But you're not gonna ever tell me this don't have nothing to do with race. Everything has to do with race. Everything. 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 And everybody sees color. Color may not bother you. You may not have a problem with the color. You may not have a problem, dating somebody who's not the same color as you. But you see that and you realize that they are. Everything has to do with race. Everything. Everything. We are conditioned to feel, think, and initially, even subconsciously, respond to a situation and a person based upon what their race is. And, especially us, because that was embedded in us. But even them, because it's embedded in them, they teach this to each other. They bring the children out there and say, come on, boy. Remember Rosewood? And the son, he just ended up not liking his Paul because, he be my friend. Come on, you got to see this hanging. They laughing and carrying on and stuff. And he just sitting there like, this is like, why y'all doing this? Whatever, No, you got to learn, boy. They teach you. They teach you. Not only because you see it as a way of life with them every day, they tell you. They teach you. And there's other cultures that teach you certain things about other cultures too. This is how you treat them. This is how you treat them. This is how you rate them. People rate themselves against other so-called races. You're not going to tell me something doesn't have anything to do with race. If I perceive it has something to do with race, you can't tell me it doesn't. Even if you think you're right, you don't know what I know. I think I'm right. So I can't be right because you're right? Fuck out of here. There was a black man in that truck. No hurry, no rush. Now, if we want to do alternate realities and go back and let Hannah be a black woman and let Mr. Kenneth Herring be a white man or an elderly white man, and we want to see how that same cop is going to respond, I guarantee you it's going to be differently. But we can't do that. We cannot create the butterfly effect for that. I wish we could, but we can't. You think that black woman would be casually able to hand off her gun and still walk around and stay there? No, you just shot somebody. I got to see what's going on. I got to secure my scene. You think he would take his time getting to that elderly white man who has just been shot by this black woman, and regardless of who he's been shot by, but he is there and he's wounded, he's been shot. He might as well have put on his gloves. He should have put on his gloves. He didn't even put on his gloves. He used his gloves to try and unlock the door. And after about what seemed to me like the 10th time of him trying to unlock the door, open it to lift the latch, I'm sitting here like, sir, the first time you tried it, you realized the door was locked. The man is probably still in his car because the door was locked. Because Hannah the Barbarian